And hello, everyone. Calgary Real Estate Show for Thursday, June 15th, midway through June already.
Wow.
And
Can't
I
believe
know,
it.
but I will say the weather now, this is June weather, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys know I'm on a farm, and so we have needed this badly. So very,
Yeah.
very happy to have this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Natalie, you were watching a story on Global the other morning that farmers they're struggling, right? So this rain is what they call in Manitoba $1 million rain.
Yeah, absolutely. That
Absolutely.
yeah. Gets pretty bad when they're talking about selling off their livestock and having
Yeah,
to truck in hay and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's nobody wants to see that.
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's get to it. We promised a bit of a mid June update here via our weekly stats and a little bit of context to add. So when we go through our weekly stats, you can see again we're 297 for new listings, which is the highest it's been since the 11th, 18th week there in May. Solds are they're 351, which is lower than the last couple of weeks for sure. Sale to new listing ratio of 118, pendings of 267, which is kind of right in line with where we've been. Price reduced of 127. That's a little higher than we've been in the last 5 weeks. Back on market 35. So that's dropped a little. Days on market, Natalie will show you last year's number at 20. This year's number is 20. And what last year's number is, you'll have to wait. Active detached creeping a little bit this week to 1156. And again, we don't include pendings in these numbers. This is my own, way of thinking about it. You can't go in and make an unconditional offer on a pending listing because it's got an offer already. So that's the way I look at that. Actually, active homes that you can actually go out and make an offer on. And be the first one in line. And then our total active creeped again to 2508. And I will say, so, what's going on? We're mid-June. I think the race is on here. I think when you look at that days on market, people are now scrambling to get their house and get in before school starts in September. That is traditionally what we see in June as we kind of roll through to the end of what we call our spring market. So is there still an opportunity? We're going to be listing a house next week in Southwest Calgary. And do I think it's going to sell pretty quick? Yeah, should. It's, depending on if we get the price right, and it's a price the seller wants to try. So we're going to give that a roll. But yeah, I think it's going to sell because it really still comes down to lack of inventory or lack of standing inventory. So I think we're in this place where, maybe we're creeping a little bit in active listings, both on the detached and total side. But the reality is we're still well below what we traditionally are. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, even if you use the number of 5,000, we're still so far below that it's, it's still a very, if you're a seller, you're in a fantastic position. So we'll see what the next 2 weeks brings. Do these numbers change a lot in terms of the new listings and the solds on the detached side? And, but in the first 2 weeks of June, on the apartment side, there have been 421 sales already of apartment condos in June. And row townhouses, I think there was around 458 active row townhouses in all of Calgary. So that kind of paints a picture of where we're at. And, so we'll have to see. So far, June is exactly the way I thought it would play out. We're maybe starting to see a bit of a taper towards the end of the month here, but still very, very strong sellers market. So again, if you're a buyer, make sure you're set up on an ASAP search. So as soon as those listings hit the market, you're getting them sent to you. Whether you go look at them or not, that's, oftentimes we say you look at a lot online before you actually go look at them in person. Yeah. That's okay. You can at least take it off your list if it's not the right house for you, but then you have the opportunity to at least go in. So with that, Natalie, over to you.
We're going in the real estate time machine. Okay. So total sales last year were 632. This year, 718. That's a 13.5% increase. That's pretty big. New listings last year were 977. This year, they're only 915. So it's minus 6% down. Active listings last year, 54.59. This year, 34.13. So that's almost 38%. That's pretty huge. And then when you look on days on market last year, it was 26 days. This year, it's 20. So it's down 23%. That says a lot. Like, just like Mark had said, people are wanting to get in like ASAP and not lose out on a house, right? We're probably seeing more of those tighter conditions all the way around, but
yeah, for sure. And I mean, when you look at those sales numbers, and again, as we always say, the disclaimer here is this is 1 week, this is a snapshot in time. But last week, I believe they were up 6% year over year. This week, they're up 13% year over year. And those active listings still remain, at that 37% down from last year. And that's if you think about it in pure numbers, in raw numbers, that's basically just over 2,000 active listings that are not on the market compared to last year, which is massive. Yeah. Big. Jaden, over to you with mortgage news. And I know you're mentioning on your LinkedIn Live that the U.S. Fed did not hike their rates.
Hallelujah. They did not hike. I think it was 11 straight hike decisions that they had made. And the really interesting rhetoric down there around, they were kind of, we were not necessarily stopping. Like they kind of are still trying to say this might not be the end because they don't want people to have more debt to get too happy about things and create more debt and more inflation, right? So really interesting that they, a lot of people were thinking that they would stop or maybe a quarter point. And we're happy up here that they stopped, because whether we want it or not, our economies are intertwined, right? And so the decisions that they make really affect us here. And it was interesting last week that decision by the Bank of Canada, total surprise for everybody to come up by a quarter point. And that just hammered up fixed rates very, very quickly. Well, we're looking at the bond market on the back end, which is what fixed rates are based on. And it has cratered. It's gone down about a half point, so about 0.5%. And of course, you're not going to see that in your fixed rate offerings right away. My cousin made great, it's an elevator up and it's the stairs down, right? So they'll wait to see how things play out. But in the meantime, that's hopefully given a bit of stability in our fixed rate market. And really, I think I've teased this in my description on my video part. We still think there's a lot of value in the 1 or 2 year fixed. You're not seeing this 504. You're probably closer to the high 5s, low 6s on a 1 or 2 year fixed. So that's a big jump to take to go up that that spread of 1% or more to lock into a shorter term. But the reality is, all of the indications from all of the stuff and a lot of the things that the Fed was talking about, a lot of those indications are showing that there's some weakness in the market that could change the way that rates are going relatively quickly. And so, that being up at that 5 year, I personally, as a broker, believe that, a healthy market is somewhere between 2.5% and 3.5% on that 5 year fixed, with some variation between there. So, if you're getting locked in, 1.5% higher than the high end of that healthy market for the full 5 years, you might be comfortable now, might not be so happy a year and a half or 2 years from now.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you, Jaden. And we are going to move over to trends that we'd like to see leave in 2023. This is going to be good.
Okay. I'm going to caveat this. This is my personal and other people that I scoot on. I am always online trying to find out what people are doing. And, I know a lot of people may disagree with some of this, but some of it is just, it's always
personal preference, right?
It's a personal preference. Absolutely. Everybody lives in their house in a different way. This picture is actually from Kim and Kanye's house, and it looks like the most depressing place in the world.
Right? Yes, it does.
Even they've got kids, like someone's going to crack their head on that table. I don't even know what to do with that.
That's why the marriage didn't last, right there. It's that
exactly. Some kid got knocked out on their coffee table. Okay, so the first one is stark minimalism, which is literally from the last picture. People are bringing, and a lot of this stuff has come up post-COVID, right? Everybody was living in their houses and they had these cold rooms and they were stuck in them for 2 years. And they're like, I need to get some warmth back in my house. So this is a good example. This is almost like a maximalist. I don't know if you have to go that far with the matching couch and that, but it really does bring a homey vibe to it.
Mhm.
The next one is open concept everything. And then again, this is a direct play from COVID. People were having to do work in their kitchen and their kids were in the living room next door trying to do homework. And it was a nightmare with the noise. So people want places to sort of close the doors off and have a little bit of privacy. The last one is the BOHO chokehold, not the last one. The next one is the BOHO chokehold. So this was something when BOHO style came out, it was really popular like 3 years ago. And it was like pinks and those ethnic blankets and this and that. And it was a lot. So now people are just sort of bringing in a little more softness with the rattan and that kind of thing. Add a little bit of the metal frame just to make it, a little more natural looking, but it's not like you've walked into your teenage daughter's bedroom, which is so. Number 4 is unlivable design. And Mark will like this one because we've had our discussions about having a TV in a living room. And
Yes, we have.
People do not do it. They will not have a TV in the living room. They'll only have one in the family room. But this is, again, because of COVID, people are like, we need to have spaces that are comfortable for everybody, whether it's a formal living room or what. It just makes it more, you don't want to have a formal living room that no one wants to actually sit in. And the last one is the all white upholstery. And I've learned this lesson myself. I thought it was really cool when my kids were 2 to buy a cream sofa.
Oh.
Big mistake, huge, all that good stuff. So it's just talking about bringing more color in. It's more of an anchoring thing in a space. So it just makes it a little more warm and inviting. And quite frankly, if you dump jam on this sofa, you're not going to see it. So
yeah,
again,
I've never done anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Awesome. And now for the illegible events. There's the Kensington Night Market. That's one that I would just pick out of this list here. And yeah, having trouble with the font on this. Crescent Heights Night Market. So lots of night markets. There's the World Poker Day. Is that what I'm seeing there?
Picnic Day. Picnic.
Oh,
World Poker. Take your dad out and play around.
Okay, I just got to let people in a little insider thing here. Is I'm doing this from an 11-inch iPad, and my close-up reading is not great, despite the fact that I wear contacts. So, in my defense, I could have made this a lot bigger. But tons of events going on. As always, this is in our newsletter. So check that out. Another one, we have a couple of videos coming out on your YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on YouTube or if you've not subscribed yet, please do. We've got, let me just take that off the screen. So we've got top 5 day trips from Calgary and then top 5 festivals coming up this summer. Oh, nice. So a couple of cool videos coming out there and really fun, lots of graphics and pictures, and our people that do that for us do such a great job of that. So that is it for this week, and we're thankful for the rain because we need it. Our backyard is a hot mess, and hopefully it will be a little less hot messy when this is all done. So, Jaden, have a great day, and we'll talk to everybody in 7 days.
Yeah, and happy Father's Day to all the
yes.
dads out there. Have a great Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Thank you for the reminder.
And to you as well. Have a great day.
And to you.
Thanks.
Okay.